It gets a lot of love. Rome, Venice, Florence. But what if I told you there's a place where even the Italians escape when they need a break? My go-to getaway for the last 20 years. Well, welcome to Puglia, Italy, land of whitewashed villages, slow sunsets, and meals that might make you rethink your priorities. I'm staying in a villa just outside of Cisternino that might ruin hotels for me forever. Over the next few days, I'm gonna show you around and explain why this region should be on your radar. And later in the video, I'll tell you how much this villa cost, how you can stay in one of your own, and why it might be the smartest move of your next trip. Are you ready? Let's go. Puglia! Welcome to Puglia! Well, welcome to Alberobello. If this is your first time seeing Trulli, well, get ready. It's gonna break your social media feed. This place is unlike any other in the world, specific to this part of Italy and to this part of Puglia. Alberobello seems like something out of a fairy tale. Whitewashed buildings, cone-shaped roofs, like a hobbit village met southern Italy. But it wasn't always a whimsical Instagram backdrop. It started off as a legal loophole. Local rulers told the farmers here they could build structures only if they were easy to dismantle and move on. So they stacked up limestone without mortar. That way if the tax man came, and he always does, they could dismantle these and move on without paying anything. Who knew tax evasion could be so beautiful? With such well-preserved, cone-shaped buildings, you can see why Alberobello is UNESCO listed. Now, all throughout the valley here, the Valle di Itria, you can find other cone-shaped trulli scattered about, but in no other place are you gonna find a full-blown town made entirely of trulli. Now, my recommendation is get here early. Alberobello, especially in the high season, can be quite busy. I would recommend getting here before 11 a.m. and if you can, get here for sunrise. Also, when you get a chance, you see some of them are open to get a look inside to see how people used to live in these cone-shaped structures. Now, some of the roofs will have white symbols on them. They're religious, pagan, or astrological markings. One cone-shaped house is called a trullo, multiple trulli. Now, some people say Alberobello is a tourist trap, but it's not. If you look around, quiet streets, early mornings, 600 years of architectural stubbornness. It's so peaceful out here, running on these farm roads near the villa here in the heart of Puglia, which is that heel-shaped region of Italy's boot, nestled between the Adriatic and Ionian Sea. The region's famous for its trulli houses, Baroque villages, towns like Lecce, olive groves, and its agriculture heritage. This area where I'm staying, it's perfect for your base camp for making road trips, sunset views. If you're into it like me, getting out for a run. We got 11 kilometers in the bag. Super windy out today. Look at it. This is our home away from home, Villa Perigo. It's about a 5-minute drive to the nearest village of Cisternino and about 1 hour south, so easy to get to from the Bari airport. And later in the video, I'll share with you how you can have a slice of this sweet life for yourself and how easy it is to get to this untouched part of Italy. You know, the great thing about staying in a villa like this is that some nights you can just stay at home, or if the weather's a bit bad like it is today, you don't need to go out. And I realized I haven't showed you where to see a proper sunset in Puglia yet, but we're getting there. Stick with me. Oh, and later I'll properly show you the villa and why I think it beats a hotel on the beach. We're now here in Cisternino, and Italy has these special nominations for villages around its country, I borghi più belli d'Italia. And Cisternino, well, it's been blessed with that nomination. Ostuni, Alberobello, Polignano a Mare, well, those are the cities that are known to tourists, but dig around a little and you're gonna find gems like these, Cisternino, that are tucked away on hilltops all over Puglia. So unfold your map of the region, pinch in, zoom on Google Maps, and start searching around. No museum line, no ticket needed, just show up hungry and let Cisternino work its charm. Just stopped here for a moment. I need to water the plants. My friend Andy once told me when you rent a car, you want one that's properly banged up. And this one, as I'm noticing here underneath the Puglian sun, it's got knocks and bangs all over the place. Little Fiat 500 has seen better days, but you know what? It's perfect down here for southern Italy. All right, I'm gonna take you to just down the road. Let's go. You know, some people collect postcards, but these women here, well, they serve up history by the handful in pasta form.
Ma sempre con le mie orecchiette.
So a little confession, when I came to Italy, my favorite pasta plate, and it still is my favorite pasta plate, is orecchiette con cime di rapa. Cime di rapa, that's like a herb, a lettuce. It's grown out in the wild, I think only in the winter, but Nunci was just telling me she's created her own sauce right here in a jar, ready to go, so you can have it all year round. You make it with cime di rapa, anchovies, and little peppers, pepperoncini. Chef's kiss. Come si dice?
C'è questo grande, guarda.
Wow.
Guarda. Ma vedi?
So these are the little ears,
Questo è piccolo.
and these are the big ears. Look at this. Oh. I was just showing Nunzia the video of us from 3 years ago. Great memories. I hope to come back here again in 3 years' time. Now the other treat you want to have when you're here in Bari is scagliozze. And those are little fried squares of polenta. Nunzia was just explaining, yeah, you can only get those in the evening when it's around 5 p.m. or so, and they set up their stalls. And right over this way, there used to be a young 93-year-old woman named Maria who used to serve them up. Well, she was 93 years ago, now she's 93. Nunzia has explained she's now retired, rightfully so. But they're dried polenta. They dry them in the day and then they fry them in oil, and serve them up warm goodness, and the people go crazy for them here. Traditionally sort of a peasant's, poor person's food, but now people have grabbed onto them as Bari street food. Unfortunately, we can't get those today, but hold on. If Florence is an open-air museum, well, Bari is the backyard party. Oil-slicked fingers and all.
Oggi le trovo anche a pranzo.
Okay.
Prego.
Grazie.
Buona colazione.
Si bere l'acqua prima e dopo.
Dipende.
I think even if we don't get le scagliozze, even if we don't get those, look at this. We got a treat here. Nice cornetto filled with cream paste, and of course, it's still before 11 a.m., so cappuccino. But some people skip Bari on their way to the beaches and miss the real heartbeat of southern Italy. Scagliozze, scagliozze, più avanti, più avanti. No, I detto sì, l'altro detto. Voi...
Devi provare a vedere più avanti, ma non credo che a quest'ora lo trovi.
Okay, grazie. I don't think we're getting scagliozze. No fried polenta for us. No scagliozze a quest'ora. A quest'ora ha detto no. Well, from the frying pan to the coastline, stick with me because later I got something wild for you. You know, Puglia wines aren't as famous as those in Piemonte or Tuscany, but they absolutely should be recognized. Here, the wine is sun-soaked, bold, and rooted in thousands of years of tradition. And look at this, right here, we're at one of the famous cantinas. Come, I'll show you. This is a wine lover's paradise. We are in the heart of the cantina Polvanera, which is just outside the little town of Gioia del Colle. And this place, the reason I'm bringing you here is because it's famous for its Primitivo wine. Let's go taste some.
What is this?
Polvanera 15 without added sulfite, very natural, like a Beaujolais Français, like a Novello, and it's perfect for the summer.
And you guys are known for your Primitivos.
Yes. Grape juice, very fresh.
Oh, it's better than grape juice. You can hear the hum of the bottling machines back there, and we have the, I think this is the 15, or was it the 14? The Polvanera 14. And for me, the Primitivo, and I'm no wine expert, I just love my wines, and I think that's how you start to learn about European wines, is you just taste and drink when you're out at dinners. But for me, the Primitivo, it's the southern cousin to the Zinfandel wine. It's grapey. It's definitely got that hint of dark, deep flavors. A touch of alcohol, but not too heavy. The cantine are dotted all around the countryside in Puglia. You'll notice them up in the north, you'll notice them in the central part of Italy in Tuscany, you'll notice them everywhere, but there are certain famous regions for wine. And like I said before, Puglia is one of the lesser known regions. Now down here in the south, you have the Bombolino Bianco and you have the Negro Amaro, and those are the famous three wines, along with this one, of course, the Primitivo. It would pair well with a good plate of orecchiette pasta made by Nuncia, who we visited this morning. Oh, I miss her already.
Only one grape, Primitivo, typical red grape from Puglia, organic, biologico. The wine process is 24 months in a stainless steel and 12 months in a bottle. Okay. We don't use barrels, we don't use barrique.
And now we moved on to the Primitivo 17, the 17. Oh, that's smooth and not too bold. It's 16.5% alcohol, so watch out. It's, I would say, elegant, mineral rich, and lighter on its feet than, say, the Menduria, the other Primitivo. Maybe that's thanks to the higher elevation here or the limestone-rich soil. This is one of those great drinkable wines. And if you find yourself down this way in Puglia, I think you should visit this cantina. The vineyards out here, unreal. This is the type of place where time pauses. Even the cicadas sound like they're sipping something smooth. You can swim in the Adriatic, sip world-class wines, all in the same day. Italy's built different, but this place isn't on most people's radar, so you'll end up with an experience that feels exclusive, yet totally unpretentious. Whoa. Running off the wine, had a bit of a break, so I wanted to get out here on these trails around the villa where I'm staying. You know, going wine tasting in the US, I did it in Portland, in Santa Barbara, St. Inez Valley. Well, it can be like a performance kind of business. But here in Puglia in Italy, it's just like you're hanging out with a generous friend who loves his wine and loves to pour you more. That's what I love about wine tasting here. It's not complicated. Now, if you remember how I said I'd explain how you can have, I'm just watching out for these mud puddles here, how you can have a slice of this sweet life for yourself. How do you get to Puglia? And if you're watching this at home on your sofa in the United States, you're thinking, shit, sorry, that's a long way away, Gregor. Don't worry, you can do it. And I'm gonna explain how. It's not that difficult, just requires a bit of planning. Oh yeah, another good one in the bag. Just 6 kilometers today. Those trails out there are beautiful. If you're enjoying this adventure, please give the video a thumbs up down below because I'm having a heck of a time down here in Puglia. Also, take a moment to subscribe if you haven't done so already. Click that subscribe button down below. You're supporting me. Also, you're gonna make sure you're not gonna miss out on any of the upcoming content. Thank you. Okay, so how do you get down here to enjoy the sweet Puglia life? And I said, it's not that difficult. The easiest way, and I just met these ladies at the airport when I was on my way here in Rome. They just flown from Toronto to Rome, and then they were gonna get a flight on to Bari, and they were on my flight as well. Let me show you here. Okay, so the easiest way is if you're coming from Toronto, anywhere here on the East Coast, New York City, Miami, or if you're in Chicago, places in the Midwest, you can get a flight over to Milan or Rome. Sometimes during the peak season, if you're lucky, you can get a flight to Bari itself. So if you get a flight to Milan or get a flight to Rome, your next step, it's a 1-hour domestic flight from Milan to Bari and a little bit less, about 30-40 minutes from Rome to Bari. Your other option, if you land in Rome and you want to take the train, and you can do that. It's about a 4.5, 5-hour train ride that costs 35 to 70 euro, depending on your ticket, one way to the Bari train station. Once you're in Bari, you're gonna need a rental car out here to explore the countryside. Get yourself a rental car. It's simple, Simon. The good news is, if you're planning your trip to Italy and you need more help, well, I got you covered. I have a PDF e-guide that you can download, have offline on your phone in your pocket, called the Italy Insider. You can use it for planning your trip to Italy, also useful for when you're here on the ground. It has things in there on how to get around Italy once you're here, how to get to and from Italy when you're planning your trip, also things to see, things to do, and of course, things to eat as well. I got you covered. It's all in there in the Italy Insider e-guide PDF, link down below. Also, when you're down there in the description, right below the video, you might want to check out my regular email newsletter full of travel tips and hacks. I put it out regularly, and again, link down in the description. Thank you. Like always, I'm going to recommend to you the shoulder season. It's perfect in April, May, or June, or after the August rush in September. Fewer crowds, better prices, and the weather, it's perfect. It's gonna be great for vineyard hopping, days at the beach, or passeggiatas after dinner under the stars. Are you starting to book your tickets? Puglia's coastline is long, winding, and full of beach towns. Monopoli, Torre Gualcetto. While everyone crowds to those famous spots, the locals, well, they slip away to places like this. So I came to my favorite cove, not far from Cisternino, where the cliffs tumble into the turquoise waters. The winds whistle through the olive groves, where it's just me, the sea, and a few other locals who got the same memo. No Lido, no DJ, no snack bar, just sun-warmed rocks and Adriatic blue. You know, sometimes the best beach club is no beach club at all. Welcome to the VIP section. You see that over there, the tower, Torre? Well, we're at Torre Pozzelle. No reservations needed, just a towel and good vibes. You'll spot signs leading you to the beach. They're a bit worn. A dusty turnoff, narrow road, and then boom, The Adriatic opens up like it's been waiting for you. This is my spot. You're welcome. Look at this. A family, their dog, just peaceful moments here. Obviously, we're here in the off season, so it's not as crowded as you'd find in July and August. But this is a part of Italy that the guidebooks leave out, and I kind of hope it stays that way. Tomorrow, I'm taking you to a place I've dreamed about for years. Ancient, carved out of stone, otherworldly. But right now, we have a sunset to catch, and there's a certain white city over this way where I think it's a pretty good spot. Let's go. Well, we've made it. Look at this. Adriatic that way, the white city up this way, and a little Piaggio Ape buzzing behind me. This city, Ostuni, practically glows, but it wasn't done this way on purpose. The whitewashed look, well, that was done back in the day in order to keep the city cool and to ward off disease during past plagues. So now, well, that aesthetic just glows under the blue skies, the white buildings, and we love it. And this is one of Puglia's most beautiful villages, up on a hill here, looking off that way to where we were just a minute ago. This is the closest thing to Santorini without leaving Italy. And do you remember when I mentioned the perfect place to see a sunset here in Puglia? Well, I think it's from here in Ostuni. Grab a glass of wine and pull up at one of the terraces at a restaurant, or do as the locals do. We saw them earlier just sitting there on the wall with the sun out beyond. This is the kind of town where time slows down and you're glad it does. Wow, if a town could be music, this would be the Beatles' White Album. I mean, it's all covered in white. Left, right, up and down. You get lost. All you remember is the light. Follow the light. So cool. And this is the off season. You have to think how packed this place will be. It's popular come August, September. That's why I always recommend the shoulder months. Look at this. Bar Perso. Bar, you're lost. But you're not lost with this sort of view behind you. Okay, I found this little restaurant tucked into the alley here. Now you can book at one of those places there on the terrace with the beautiful view of the sunset, which would be pretty cool in the warm summer months, but you're gonna pay a lot more money. So pro tip, a little local place like this in an alleyway and save your bucks for another day. Now, for me, Puglia just hits differently. If we were up in the north in Florence or Rome, to think that's the north from here, this place would be swarmed with tourists. But here, it's still not packed, and you can roam around freely and find great deals on drinks and food. You know, Ostuni is like if the Amalfi Coast had an older cousin, but with better wine. Well, in this case, we have spritz, so. This is the first time of this trip. This morning we saw Nuzia make this pasta, and now we have it. Le orecchiette, but this time with cime di rapa. Oh yeah, this one has a twist. A good helping of burrata. Not traditional for this recipe, but we got a good helping of the burrata on top. You're subscribed, right?
Of course,
you
yeah,
better
yeah.
be.
Yeah. Check.
From the Netherlands, right?
Yes.
Have you had the orecchiette with cime di rapa?
Yeah, we tried it today as well in Bari.
They've been studying. All right, cool guys. Thank you for saying
thank
hello.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Bye.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you well. Wow. It was worth the early morning wake-up call and the drive to get here. Some cities you visit, Matera, it haunts you. It's layered with centuries of faith, struggle, and beauty. They filmed James Bond here, but this is no set. It's real, raw, and unforgettable. And stick around because later I'll explain why Matera was once called the shame of Italy and how it transformed into one of Italy's proudest cultural capitals. So we're no longer in Puglia, we're just across the border into the neighboring region of Basilicata, one of the most remote and poorest regions of Italy, but it's super close to get to, about an hour's drive from Ostuni. Matera is one of the oldest continually habited communities in the entire world, dating back to the Paleolithic period. And look, I don't know if you can see it there, but all these doors and windows, they're all portals into these cave homes. The people, they carved their homes out of the rocks and made caves. And in fact, people still live here, and you can even book a hotel and stay in the City of Stones. I've done it a couple times in the past, and if you're fortunate enough to do so, I recommend it. This central part, the ancient part, is called the Sassi di Matera, the rocks of Matera. And as you can see, it's a layered cityscape of stone houses, staircases, and churches. This place is stunning. But it wasn't always this way. In fact, in the 1950s, Italy forcefully removed the residents from Matera due to disease and poverty. In fact, Matera was called La Vergogna d'Italia, the shame of Italy. And things changed. And 40 years later, well, they went through a massive revival project here. You can see the changes were made. It was named later a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And in 2019, named the European Cultural Capital. Look at this. I'm telling you, people actually live here. They set up a little basketball hoop right in this little square here to play ball. Films like Passion of the Christ were made here. And Matera, these streets, well, that was the place where James Bond raced his car in the opening scene of No Time to Die. But Matera isn't easy to get to. In fact, most tourists skip it thinking it's just too far out of the way. So when you finally get here, it feels like a secret you've been let in on. A city sculpted by hand and time, where your footsteps echo through 9,000 years of history. Matera is a place you wander, for sure, but more than that, it seeps into you. You don't just visit Matera, you absorb it. Whew, we're making our way up the stairs to the main cathedral here. Matera, it just isn't a destination, it's a goosebump. I think I've been here about 6 times in my life, but I always get lost. I just went down that way and it's blocked. I need to find another alleyway to pass. Believe me when I say there really are hotels here. One time I stayed in an Airbnb over that way, and another time I stayed in a pretty luxurious place tucked in right below us. Okay, we're on our way. Do you remember earlier when I said I'd give you a villa tour and explain why this might be a better deal than a hotel? Well, Villa Perigo is not just a place to sleep. It's a place to slow down, spread out, and actually live. Staying in a hotel means separate rooms, limited space, and you're eating every meal out. So why not rent a villa? You have your own kitchen, an outdoor dining area, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths in this case. You have a pool and even an outdoor fireplace. Well, what's the price? Not as much as you might think, especially if you're coming in the shoulder season, April, May, or late September. $1,600 for 1 week. And that breaks down to $230 a night. Now, if you're a group of 4, that's only $57 a person each night. What's that? I hear you saying, yeah, sure, Gregor, but what's the price in the high season? Well, around 2,600 a week. But with that, you get privacy, sunsets, and that view. Hotels just give you rooms, but a villa gives you life. And with the management company, I'll leave their details down in the description below. If you contact them, tell them I sent you. The management company can help you arrange things like a chef to come and cook for you here at the villa one night, and even do wine pairings as well. They can help you arrange wine tasting tours out in the countryside, or transfers to and from the airport. All those details, well, they can handle it for you. Basically, it's a vacation where someone else thinks about the details, and all you need to do is sit back and sip the wine. Look at this, take some stairs up. We're here in Polignano al Mare. Yes, home to the singer of the song, Volare. Yes, that Volare. But what's famous here are how the cliffs drop into the turquoise waters, and the beach down below, and the boats out at sea. It is stunning. Look at that right there. You get the cliffs going down into the water. But Polignano isn't a secret anymore. Too many visitors settle for a quick photo and a mediocre meal at a cliffside tourist trap. So I want you to come early. It gets crowded midday and on into the late afternoon when we're here now. Skip the gimmicks and spend your money where it really counts, down below on a boat tour, and that's the best way to see Polignano. You can take off from the port down that way. You'll see all the caves and cliffs that make this coastline legend. Bring your camera and your towel, because the captains, well, they'll let you dive off the boat and into the turquoise waters. And you'll see the Instagram famous social media star, the restaurant Grotta Palazzese. I've been there, I can speak from experience. It is stunning. You're there, beautiful views, but at €200 per person for average food, well, I don't think it's worth it. You can go and find out for yourself. But my advice to you, save your cash. Go to a basic trattoria or pizzeria down some side street, and that money, well, put it towards a boat tour. Same views, better vibes. This beach down below, Lama Monachile, it's stunning. But I recommend so many other beaches along the coastline. You'll find less people. But be warned, if you do want to visit this one, it's pebbles, not sand, so bring some water shoes. Also, get here early or you're not going to find a spot, and it's towel on towel. I came to Puglia for the views, but I stayed for the pace. Everything slows you down, and maybe that's the lesson. Rome has its power, Florence its beauty, but Puglia, it shows you how to live. And do you remember the hilltop town of Ostuni, where I talked about sitting there and relaxing and taking in the sunset? But the Italians have a secret phrase for that you might want to embrace in your life. So, watch this deep dive video next, where I break down the 5 simple but strange rules that might improve your life.